Hello, we are Team Professional Writers, and we are going to be talking about our report and presenting all the information that we have gathered about alleviating code red at shelters in the Waco area. My name is Hanlon Smith.
My name is Summer Lino.
My name is Michaela Wynn.
And my name is Lucy Ray.
So within this presentation, we are going to be taking you through the introduction, which entails our initial solutions that we have found through the research that we have conducted. Through those research solutions, we go into the recommendation of which solution we believe would alleviate code red at shelters the best. And then following that recommendation, we go into what we have learned throughout this report, this presentation, and working together.
So a little bit about the code red problem. So animal shelters are increasingly out of space and resources, and this can lead to euthanasia. And then college students can actually be excellent pet owners, but many don't understand the amount of care that animals need, and this can ultimately lead to them surrendering the animal.
So our first solution that we found from our research is pre-adoption classes. So these classes require students that are considering either adoption or fostering to take classes that help them understand the basics of pet ownership in a better way.
Another solution we looked into was a pet pantry, and this is creating a food pantry targeted towards pets to reduce the financial burden of paying for food and other essential pet supplies.
And the last solution that we looked at was a local pet club, which would actually help build a community around responsible pet ownership, as well as giving caregivers the education on the basics of pet care and receiving support from their peers.
So this first solution, we go into the pros and cons of pre-adoption classes. The pros would be that it educates students who are current or potential pet owners, which could potentially decrease the number of pet surrenders. It also provides valuable pet information that ranges from pet health, nutrition, diet, training, social responsibility, and available resources. And also the way that this class would be structured is that one topic would be covered every week, which gives an opportunity for each important topic to be covered in depth. We also wanted to provide cons of this pre-adoption class solution, and those would include it would require a dedicated space to host classes, and the class would span over the course of weeks to months to cover each topic, which may result in less attendance due to the prolonged commitment. And also, it being a requirement prior to adoption and fostering, it may deter people from wanting to do such because of the time constraints and unwillingness to attend the classes.
So some pros and cons for the pet pantry is that this will help alleviate financial burdens of owning a pet for college students. And then there are many examples of this solution already in place. For example, Meals on Wheels in Waco for senior pet owners. And then some cons is that the solution only addresses one of the many factors that could lead to pet surrender, and it only benefits students that have adopted already. And then this solution is probably not feasible within the volunteer and budget constraints.
Our last proposed solution would be the implementation of a local pet club. Some of the pros of this solution could be that it offers roles and responsibilities for all kinds of students, depending on how involved they choose to be in the club. It also educates students on what responsible pet ownership looks like. And lastly, it would allow students to support one another while navigating through pet ownership. However, there are some downsides to this, with some of the cons being that it does not address the financial burdens surrounding being the owner of a pet, and also does not provide a solution to small student living spaces, which a lot of college students have.
So lastly, or I guess to kind of round out our solutions that we looked into, I want to talk to you a little bit more about our recommended solution, which is the local pet club. So like Michaela kind of mentioned, there would be multiple different ways that students can get involved in the club, kind of with different varying levels of commitment. So first, if you are not currently caring for a pet through adoption or fostering, and maybe you aren't ready for that commitment yet, you can just be part of a general club support. So this would include planning and attending the club events, working with animal shelters to raise awareness and maybe even plan curriculum, recruiting new members, and also matching up pet sitters with pet raisers, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. So pet sitters would complete some kind of responsible pet care training so that they really understand the care and commitment of caring for an animal, but they would just temporarily care for and socialize pets. So maybe a full-time pet raiser who is already adopting or fostering a pet, maybe they have a really busy schedule, and they can't take their dog for a walk or they can't feed their cat right now. One of these pet sitters can step in and make sure that those animals are getting the care that they need and deserve. And then these full-time pet raisers, we would also ask them to complete some kind of responsible pet ownership training as well, just so that everybody understands and has this baseline knowledge of caring for their pets. The implementation of this pet club would also include bi-monthly meetings where members can be educated on various topics such as the importance of a proper pet diet and regular veterinary checkups, training and socialization are some example topics. We would also invite in different expert guest speakers to educate our students in this club. And we would advertise through social media posts, perhaps on a public Instagram page, and flyer advertisements like the one that you see on the slide here. So we believe this is the best solution because it offers both pre and post-adoption support. So students who are both considering owning or caring for an animal and those who are already owning and caring for an animal would both be able to benefit from this club. We also believe that it would be feasible to implement within the budget and volunteer constraints that we were given. So running this club, we would be paying for things like snacks, printing advertisements, and we believe that would be feasible within the $1,000 budget. And we also found that because this club would have a lot of student involvement, that having just 15 hours of volunteer support would be enough to run this club. And lastly, we believe that this solution really effectively uses the college population because there's multiple avenues that students can get involved depending on the various commitment levels and just stages that they're in currently. And in this way, we're able to involve students both as leaders and in members.
So throughout this report and presentation process, I've learned that it is a much bigger commitment to be a pet owner than just taking the pet home after you adopt or foster it. This has really deepened my empathy for my parents. We have 6 pets at home, and they are also mom and dad to 2 daughters. And so I've really, with my deeper understanding, I have deeper empathy as well.
So I've learned that owning a pet comes with significant responsibility and that learning the importance of educating people about this responsibility so that they are able to make informed decisions before choosing to adopt a pet.
Kind of bouncing off of Summer's idea, I also learned that there is a major lack of education regarding the responsibilities behind owning a pet, particularly within the college population, which is our target population, as we know. So I feel that there is really a need for that information to be shared and for knowledge to be gained.
Yeah, and then I really learned, I've never actually been a pet owner, so I would be one of these people that could really benefit from a solution like a pet club where I would be educated on all of these different facets of owning a pet. I had no idea about the importance of regular vet checkups and diet and socialization and training, and there's all of these things that I just had no idea about, and so I feel like it was a really big learning process for me to learn about all of those things so that I could then help recommend a solution to this problem.
Closing off with what we learned as a team, one major thing that we learned was regarding organization, and that was the ability to pay attention to details, especially throughout our formatting, and that allowed our argument to be well received and well accessible. And then secondly, teamwork. Our team, I will say we did really well with teamwork, but fairly dividing the work allowed us to complete tasks in a manner that we're proud to present and be part of.
Those are our references, and thank you so much for watching our presentation. Bye.